we are going to discuss about client-side events. These are also called as browser events or HTML events. Then first of all, we have to understand what exactly an event, what it indicates, what are the various browser events or HTML events or client-side events that we have. Now let's see. And based on this event, how can we invoke some actions with the help of JavaScript? Okay, we'll see practically here. Now tell me generally, what do you mean by an event? Event indicates what? Event means mm, mm, event. Okay. Mm, okay. Operations will be different. Based on event, we can perform actions. Mm. Event is a base. No. Now, suppose for example, right, exactly. Now, for example, we have a login screen. In this login screen, we have two text boxes. One is to enter the username, and the second one is to enter password. And then we have login button. Login button. Now, inside this login screen, I have entered some credentials. I have entered some username. I have entered some password. So once the username and the password has been entered, immediately will it validate your credentials? No. When it will validate, once you click on this particular button control. Once you click on login button, then only it will be invoking that operations to validate your credentials to check whatever the username and the password that you have entered. With these details, do we have a user record is exist or not? If the user record is exist, allow the user to access the application. Allow the user to access the application. Suppose with these credentials, if you don't have any user, it will show the error message on the screen that invalid username or password. Okay. So now here in this case here, when it will be doing this operation, when it will validate your credentials upon click on this button control. So after entering the username and the password, until or unless you are not click on the button control, your action will not be getting initiated. So now here in this case, as soon as once you click on the button control login, it will initiating that action. Now here in this case, we are clicking that button control here. This click is nothing but an event. We are going to be clicking this button control. This click is nothing but an event. So what do you mean by event? Event is nothing but an occasion or a situation which indicates when you want to perform some actions. So when you want to perform some actions, that event, that means that occasion is nothing but your events. Now, generally when we are going to be performing this kind of operations here, once you click on some button controls also, once you double click on some particular control also, whenever I'm changing the values in the text box also, whenever I'm changing the values in the pick list control also, in this kind of situation, we can perform some actions. So now here in this case, when coming to the event, event indicates an occasion or a situation which indicates when the operations has to be get performed. Depends upon your application requirement, we can able to write the corresponding business logics by using JavaScript, and that JavaScript code we can invoke based on these events. Based on the event, we can able to invoke your JavaScript code. because as part of this Lightning Web Component is always interacting with the JavaScript, and because it will perform the operations within the browser level, so all the events are okay browser based events. So based on this event, it will be doing some operation. That operation will be executing within the browser engine itself. Within the browser itself, it is executing. So these are called as client side events or HTML events, and these are also called as a browser events. So whatever the logic we are going to execute, that logic will be executing within your browser itself, not inside the Salesforce server. Okay, not inside the Salesforce server. It won't connect to the Salesforce server. It will execute that logic within the browser itself so that we can improve the application performance as well. Now, as part of your Lightning Web Component, we are having so many browser based events are available. Those are called as client side events. Client means browser. Okay, so these are executing these operations within the browser itself. Now, then what are the various events that we have as part of Lightning Web Component? Now, let me explain one by one. Based on those events, how to invoke some actions we'll see with the practical use case. Okay, now make a note of this one. Event. Event indicates an occasion or situation which indicates which indicates or which performs certain actions inside the browser to perform the operations inside the application. Based on the event, we can perform the operations by using JavaScript, which will execute the code inside the browser, which will execute the code inside the browser. We have the below client side events, which performs the operation inside the browser level. First one, on click, on click. This event will fire the action upon click on the component. Upon click on the component. This event will fire the action upon click on the component. For example, upon click on the button. Upon click on the text box, etc. Now, on double click. This event will fire the action when the user double click on the component. Next one, on change. This event will fire the action when the user edit or modify the value inside the component. For example, when the user change the text box value, or upon changing the pick list value selection, etc. Fourth one, unload. This event will fire the action when the browser is loading the component. Fifth one, unblur. Unblur. This event will fire the action when the control is losing the focus. Unfocus. This event will fire the action when the control or component got the focus. And mouse over. This event will fire the action when the mouse pointer has been placed on the component. These are few HTML events that we have which will be executing within the browser level. This doesn't require any server side interactions. These will be executing within your browser. That's what these are called as browser based events or HTML events or client side events. Client means HTML. That means browser. Then with the first two, then with this event will fire the action when the user pushed or press the keyboard key. These are the various browser based or HTML events that we have on which we can find the actions. Remember this? Now, let's see. Then how can we use these events in order to perform some actions? Now, let's see. For example, I'm having a Lightning Web Component. In this Lightning Web Component, I would like to place a button control. Okay, I would like to place a button control or two button components, whatever, anything here. I'm placing few button components. This is one button component. This is second button component. Now, I'm giving the captions. I'm giving the caption of the button as save button. For example, this is save button. This is new button. Now my requirement is when I click on this button control save, I want to show some message alert. Okay, I want to show some message alert. Then how can we show some message alert box? Okay, now let's see. Now first of all, we have to place these two components. That means these are the two button components. How to prepare this component now? We have to use the help of template file. We have to prepare a template file. We have to prepare template file. Template by template. In this template file, I would like to use the div tag. In this div tag, I would like to place two button components, like as lightning button, lightning button. By lightning button, I'm giving the property label equals to, I would like to specify save. Now, I'm giving this a variant equals to brand. This is one button component here which I would like to place. Next, second button. Lightning button label equals to new. Variant equals to brand. These are the two button components which I have placed. Okay, I have placed these two button components. The first lighting button is nothing but save button. Second lighting button label is new button. For both the button controls, I'm giving that okay variant as a brand. which will be giving that the complete this border will be filled with the blue color and the content will be visible with that white color here. That is a brand appearance. Now, now my requirement is upon click on this button control, I would like to perform some action. Now, whatever the action you are going to perform, that action related code we need to write inside the controller file. That means a JavaScript. So we have to go to the JavaScript class. We have to go to the JavaScript class. It will be having this file like this. Import lighting element from LWC. Then you will be having the class. Now export default class some sample component extends lighting element. This is a class. Inside this JavaScript class, we can prepare the function. What functions you would like to invoke, we can specify here. Upon click on this save button, I would like to write some piece of code so that just you can specify the function name and handle save. That means as soon as once you click on this save button, okay, whatever the action you want to perform, that action related code I'm writing inside the JavaScript function. Directly we can give the function name. No need to use the keyword function even as well here. Directly we can give the function name. If you want to pass any parameters, we can pass the parameters. But now I don't want to pass any parameters here. I'm writing that piece of code like by using alert box. Alert. This is save button. This is save button. Now this is a JavaScript function which I have prepared here, which can be used to represent some alert message which will show the message that is this is save button. Now I want to call this a function. When once you click on this button control, that means on click of your button control, I would like to call this JavaScript function. That's what here, when you go to that JavaScript, when you go to that components, already I have given all these properties. During that lighting button component, during the lighting button component, I have given all the properties to you. Here we have a property called as onClick property, which is used to specify the JavaScript name. What JavaScript method you would like to invoke, we need to specify. Don't use C colon, okay, exclamation, nothing. That is for ARA framework, but this is lighting web component. Directly we can specify the curly braces. In the curly braces, we can specify the JavaScript function name. That's it. Okay, now. So now here I would like to call this function on handle save. When I click on this save button, I want to call this a JavaScript function. So we can specify that event. What is the event name now? On click. On click equals to specify the JavaScript name. What is the JavaScript name here? Function name on handle save. That's it. Over. Okay. So now in this case, what happened? As soon as once you click on this button control on click, that means this is an event. This is an event here. When you observe the event names, as of now we have discussed 8 events. When moving forward, I will show you how to create our own custom events also in Lightning Web Component. When you observe this event names, okay, there is a common functionality. Every event name is start with the keyword on. Okay, on. When you observe that here. Like as on load, on click, on double click, and then on change, on key down. Okay, like that here we are having that each and every event name is starting with the keyword on. When moving forward, if you are creating your own custom events also, your custom event name also should be starts with on. That is a principle. Okay, that is a principle. Why? Because, for example, when you go to the Apex programming, we are having so many exception classes. Like we have math exception, DML exception, query exception, list exception, and then we are having limit exception. Like that, so many exceptions are available here. When you observe that exception name, every exception class name is ending with the word exception, like math exception, limit exception, okay, query exception, and then DML exception. Like that, every exception class name is ending with the word exception. Okay, that is an indication here because to indicate this class is a exception class. Like the similar way, if it is starting with on, that means it's a event. Okay, on click. When you click on this particular button control, what operation you want me to do? What action you want me to do? Now I want to call JavaScript function that is on handle save. Then immediately it will go to this function. Function will be executed. Inside the function, whatever the logic you have written, this will be executed. It will show some alert message to you here. Okay, there is a functionality over here. Understood the concept now? Next. Like the similar way. But this new button also, I want to prepare a JavaScript function. Now, on handle new. This is JavaScript function name. You can give anything, no problem. Because here I have given on handle save. We need to follow like this. No such kind of rule. You can give any name. Because simply function one, function two, like that also you can provide. No problem. Now, but please give a meaningful name. So just by looking into that function itself, we can understand what the function will do, in which button control this function is going to be referenced. Okay, for that one, just you can give a proper meaningful name. Now, I'm indicating this. This is new button. Okay, this is new button. I want to call this function when you click on this particular button control. If you want to call this function when you double click on this button, what needs to be done? And double click, right? And double click equals to, okay, we can specify and handle, that's it. So on what event you want to fire, we can indicate the event name equals to the JavaScript function name which you would like to call. That means what? This is the event. Based on the event, I'm performing the action by calling this a JavaScript function. So based on the event, we can perform some actions. Okay, not only one, multiple actions also we can perform. Clear? Understood the concept here? Now, see for example, simple concept. Today, I'm depositing some money into my bank account. In my bank account, already I'm having 10,000 rupees as a balance. Already my account balance is 10,000 rupees. Today I'm depositing 5,000 rupees more into my bank account. Now, once you are depositing this amount, then what will be your balance then? 15. The balance will be updating as 15,000 here. Once a balance value has been updated, how do you know balance is updated? You are getting some notification alert, one email alert, one SMS alert. Now tell me in this case here, what is the event here? Updating the records. Once a record has been updated, because you have updated the balance value, whenever the value has been updated, immediately it is firing two actions. One is it will send the email alert, second one it will send the SMS alert. Two operations are doing. What is the event here? What is the occasion? The record has been updated. Once the record is updated, it is performing some actions. Okay. Now the event is nothing but updating the record. Actions are nothing but sending the email, sending the SMS alerts. Okay. Now, in this case, this event is a server side because we are updating the record. Where is the record? In the database level. That means on the server level. But here we are performing some actions based on what? Client side. That means in the browser level here. Okay. Understood the concept now? Next. Let me show you with a practical use case. How can we do this? Let me take a small use case. Design a Lightning Web Component to represent the custom alert message upon click on the button components. Design a Lightning Web component to represent the custom alert message upon click on the button components. As soon as once you click on this button components, I would like to perform some actions. Now, let's see how can we do this. Let me create a new Lightning Web component. I'm creating a new Lightning Web component. I would like to indicate custom, or I can specify HTML events component. I'm creating a component with the name HTML events component. So let's go to the template file. In this template file, I would like to specify the div tag. In this div tag, I would like to place the 4 button components like as a new, edit, save, delete. These are the 4 buttons. Lightning button label equals to new, brand equals to, sorry, variant equals to brand outline. Second one, lightning button label equals to save button, variant equals to brand outline. Lightning button label equals to delete button, variant equals to brand outline. Lightning button label equals to search button, variant equals to brand outline. I'm giving some space also, ampersand NVSP semicolon, and then ampersand NVSP semicolon. Now, here also I'm giving the space. I'm giving 2 spaces over here. Now I would like to save, I would like to deploy this component. Okay. So in one shot, we can save and we can deploy here. Have you enabled that setting option which I showed you in the previous sessions? Working fine? Now, now I would like to place the custom style also. HTML events component dot CSS. Now I would like to apply the style here. In the previous session, whatever the style we have applied, the same style I would like to provide here also. I'm applying this same style. Width also, border, border radius, and then margin top, and the margin left. Margin top I'm giving like as 100 pixel, margin left, and the remaining will be same. Here, if you want to change this color, then you can change. It depends upon your requirement. We can able to apply this color also. Now the border color, if you want to apply your own color, then you can decide that color whatever you want. I want to apply this color here. Now, now here I'm placing this, okay, 4 button components, new button, save button, delete, and the search button. Now, let's see. I'm saving this. Now, now, done. So now let's call this component inside your application. Go to that default Salesforce R, which has been connected with your Visual Studio Code editor. Now I'm going to the developer console. I'm opening my Lightning application, which we have created in the past. I'm giving my component a name. HTML events component. Now let's run the component now. Click on preview. Components will be getting visible over here. New button, save button, delete, and the search button. Now let me give you some more width over here because all the 4 buttons are not accommodating in a single line. I'm giving this will be 500 pixels. Refresh the screen now. Now we are having this of 4 buttons are available. But when you click on the button, nothing will happen now. When you click on the button, nothing will happen. It won't do any operation because we haven't written any logic over here. Just these are the buttons, dummy buttons here. When you click on the button, nothing will happen inside this. Then that's what I told in the starting classes also. Buttons can't perform the action by its own. So when you click on the button control, behind the button, there should be some logic will be available, which will be executed. It will do the operations for you. But button can't do that operation. Button is one of the way to invoke that operation, to perform that logic, to perform that action. Button is one of the way. Now, so that here buttons are generally dummy buttons here. They can't perform any actions by their own. Just they will be occupying some space with the respective visual appearance. It is having some rectangular shape. So now the buttons will be visible with the buttons shape. Now, upon click on the button control, nothing will happen by default. If you want to do some operation, we have to write the logic by your own. Now, upon click on this button control, I want to perform some operations. That operations related code we need to write. Now, as soon as once you click on this new button, I want to call a separated JavaScript function. So go to that controller file. This is the controller file. Go to the JavaScript class which has been prepared by the Lightning Web Component Framework by default and prepare the function like onHandle save. That means as soon as once you click on this save button, which method you would like to execute. So we can write that method information here inside this. I want to show that here alert. We can show the message. You have click on save button. I want to show some message. That means what? As soon as once I click on this button control, which one save new button? Sorry, save button. I would like to call this a save method here. Then once a method is ready, how can we bind? Just we can go to that save button and then we can specify that. We are having this event on click. On click equals to, we can specify that method name. On handle save. Okay, on handle save. So as soon as once you click on this button control save, it will be calling this a function. Now the function will be performing some operation by using this alert message, which will visible to you on the browser level. Clear? Now let me show you. Now let me refresh this screen now. When I click on new button, nothing will happen. When I click on delete, nothing is happening. Search button, nothing is happening. When I click on this save button, it will be performing the action. Okay, whatever the method that we have binded, so now here that method will be getting invoked and which will be representing some message in the browser level in the form of a dialog box. Now it is indicating the message you have click on save button. Clear? Now, like the similar passion, we have to prepare that JavaScript functions and handle new. I'm showing the alert message. You have click on new button. On handle delete. Now you have click on delete button. On handle search alert. You have click on search button. Now I would like to bind these methods okay with the respective buttons. Now upon click on this new button, I would like to call the method. What we can do on click equals to, we can specify on handle new, on handle new. Next one, upon click on delete button, on click equals to on handle delete, on handle search, on handle search. That's it, nothing else. Just you have to prepare your own JavaScript function, write the required logic. So now we would like to show only some simple message. That's what we are going to be representing that only that alert box. Deploy the code. Now done. Let's refresh the screen now. Now click on new button. It will show the message. You have click on new button. When I click on delete, it will be representing the message. You have click on delete button. When I click on search button, it is showing the message. You have click on search button. When I click on save button, it is showing the message. You have click on save. Like that here, upon click on the button controls, we can able to perform our own custom actions as well. Okay, understand the concept now? Go to the template file, control the file. Control file, style also available. Here, next. Next one. Let's take one more small use case. Now, for example, I would like to take a small text box on my screen. I would like to take some small text box on my screen. Now, so this is like a some show message. This is the normal text box. In this normal text box, I would like to place some content. So now I would like to prepare a JavaScript file. In that JavaScript file, I would like to define a variable over here, like some message variable. In that message variable, I'm showing some message. I'm storing some message here, welcome, for example. That welcome message I want to show, okay, inside my text box. Okay, yesterday we have discussed this concept over here. How to define JavaScript property, how to represent on your okay user interface. By using that, okay, one-way binding we have discussed yesterday. Now, in this case here, let's see. Here, whatever the content is available here, the content will be visible. Now, so now here the same content I would like to show in the normal label also here. I want to show in the label also. Now in this particular text box, okay, if I'm making any changes over here, for example, if I'm adding some more new characters, that new character should be visible here also. If I'm removing some characters here, those will be getting visible here also. If I'm making the changes at one place, it should reflect on the remaining places automatically by default here. That is my requirement. Okay, that is my requirement. Then how can we do that? Okay, now let me show you with the practical use case. Let's see. Take a small use case. Design a Lightning Web Component to demonstrate the HTML events to perform the actions. I'm representing the same message I'm representing here. Custom message is, I would like to show that custom message, which should be visible in bold format. Now, I'm defining a JavaScript property here with the name custom message, which will be holding the value, okay, welcome to client side events. Now, this message I would like to show on my text box so that I'm preparing one lightning input component. I'm using the value property. In that value property, I'm binding this is variable name. Whatever the variable that I binded in that variable, whatever the value is available, the value will be displaying inside my lightning text box as a value. I'm showing this a message here, custom message. The same message I would like to show like as a hard coded. Refresh this. Now the same message is visible here also. I want to show the same message again. Here I'm giving a break tag, custom client side message or some custom message. Custom content is, I'm indicating a bold tag, italic. Here I would like to show custom message. The same message I'm showing, okay, three places over here. In one text box, in two normal places over here. The same property, JavaScript property, I'm referencing in three places over here. Now, welcome to client side events. Here I'm having this message, custom content. Let me give one more line space also for this one. One more break tag. So we can give one complete line space. Now this is the content. Now, whenever I'm removing this content from the text box here, nothing will be happening in the remaining two places here. But now my requirement is whenever I'm changing the content in this text box, automatically whatever the changes that you have made it over here, the same changes should be reflected in these two places also automatically. Okay, now that means what? I want to reflect this new value into this particular, okay, remaining two places also over here. For that one, what I want to do, whenever we are changing this value in the text box, that means on change. Whenever we are changing this text box value, collect the latest value, store into the JavaScript property automatically here. Then that new value will be reflecting in all the places. Let's see. Now on change in the text box, when you change the value, that means I'm using this on change event. Here I would like to specify on, or else you can specify handle content change. I'm going to preparing a method. With this name, I want to prepare a method over here. Prepare the method in JavaScript file. Now, so here we need to apply. We need to collect the latest information. In order to collect that latest information, I'm using this event parameter. What do you mean by this event parameter? Indicates whatever the event has been occurred, that complete event details will be storing inside this event parameter. It's a built-in parameter. It's a built-in keyword in Lightning Web Component Framework in JavaScript. So whenever once you click on the button control also, once you remove the content also, whatever the event has occurred, that event details will be storing inside this event parameter. Now, what I want to do is, I want to collect that content. So we have to use event dot, we need to collect the target. Target means what? An event has been occurred. The what is that event? Text box value has been changed. Which text box value here? Because on my user interface, I may be having two text boxes also, 5 also, 10 also, anything. Which text box value has been changed? Collect the text box details. That is nothing but target. Target means what? Which component has invoked this event over here? Just now an event is occurred. That means on change is occurred. Now what is that on change? That means value has been changed. In which text box here, in which control, that control details we can collect here. That is target. Target means the component which invokes this event here. And then we can collect that value. Value means what? In that particular text box, whatever the value is available, collect that text box value over here. Now, that value we can store into your custom message. This dot custom message equals to that's it. Over. Now, in this case, what happened? Whenever the text box value has been changed, immediately this particular method will execute. It will collect the event details, which event has been occurred. It will collect that component, which component value has been changed. That component's value it will collect, it will place into this here text box. Now, from that, this value will be referencing in remaining two places here. Now, let's see. Let me save this content now. Now let's refresh this user interface now. Let's see. Whenever I'm going to be removing some content, observe this one. In the remaining two places also it will be changing automatically by default. What are the changes that are made in the text box? Now that value will be reflecting in the remaining two places also. If I'm adding some content here, welcome to HTML events in web component. Okay, Lightning web component. So once you make the changes at one place, that will be reflecting in remaining places also here on change event. Okay. Now this kind of properties are called as reactive properties in JavaScript. Okay. These are called as reactive properties. Reactive properties. That means what? Once you change the value of the property at one place, then the same value will be reflecting in all the places automatically in one shot. That is called as reactive properties. Suppose if a property has been referenced in three different components here, in one component, if you change the value of the property, that latest value will be reflecting in all the places automatically here. Okay, that is called as reactive properties. Understood the concept over here? Now, now. So in this case, we can able to represent the content over here. Now, if you want to collect this component label here, that means which text box value we have modified, okay, custom message text box value. If you want to collect the text box information, then we can able to collect the details also. In that case, we can able to represent the content. I want to show the text box name. Now I would like to represent the message component name. That means component label. Component label. I would like to represent this dot component label equals to event dot target dot label. That means which component details you have modified. If you want to get those component details here, now we can collect that component label also. Now, if you want to show this content, then I will show you that. I'm giving two break tags, or else I would like to show you that information in a separated div tag. Component label is, I want to show that. What is that property name? Component label. Now, let's see. Which component details has been modified, we can able to represent this. Now it is having empty space, nothing is available. Once you modify this value, automatically it will collect the value. It is indicating the label is custom message component. This is the label of this particular component here. If you want to collect the name, then let me show you. Here we can give the name property also for this one. For every component, you are having the name property. Name equals to LBL custom message. LBL custom message. Now, I want to collect the value over here. If you want to get this component a label, then just you can use that property here. Here I'm indicating that component name. I would like to indicate this dot component name equals to event dot target dot name. So now what component details you have modified, we can collect the component value in the text box, what value is available, the text box label also we can collect, the text box name also we can collect. Now this value we would like to represent. Break that. Component name is, I would like to represent component name. Which component value you have modified, we can collect that component details. Let me push this code to your Salesforce org. Refresh the screen now. Now let me reduce that. Margin top, I'm indicating like a some 50 or some 20. Refresh the screen now. Now we can able to show this content here. Now here I'm going to be, now this is component label is empty. Component name also empty. Once you make some changes over here, it will collect that component label and the name it will place inside that. See, if I'm removing the character some yes, automatically it is collecting the details over here. Component label is custom message. Component name is LBL custom message. Whatever you have made the changes here, we can able to collect those details. If I'm adding some component name content, we can able to represent will be it will representing on the text box. Now let's see. Welcome to HTML events in Lightning Web Component. Okay. So that here, this is how we can use the help of HTML events. Depends upon your need, we can use it. Just we can able to not only using that on click always, we are using on change also. On change, on blur. Okay, like that here we are having that various events will be available to you. Depends upon the requirement, we can use that corresponding events as well. Okay, understood the concept now? Let me place this content. Understood the concept here? How can we use this HTML events? Now, In tomorrow's session, we'll see some more events. How can we use the two-way direction? That means two-way binding. How to implement? How to pass some input values? How to get the response back? We'll see in tomorrow's session with a practical. Like how can we implement the calculator features? I will show you with the practical. Then we will enter into the concept of decorators. What exactly a decorator? What is a track decorator? API decorator? While decorator? We'll see each and every decorator one by one. Thank you.